Hello and welcome to the Geek Den for issue 91 of our R2D2 build. We are now only 9 issues away from completion. This is, I would only call it a bumper pack, just because look how much is in there. There's so much to do. There's quite a lot to do in this issue, so we're going to do it step by step and take our time with it just to make sure. Obviously, at the end of this, video, we'll end up something like this. Also, there is quite a lot to do. I'm just going to flick through this. Obviously, that's the end result that we all get there today, and yeah, in fact, in the magazine there is literally 2 pages of building the galaxy, and that's it, and then it comes straight on. So, first things first, we need to get all the bits out, and we are working on the centre foot first. So, let me grab the bits to do that. Okay, so first things first, we grab this centre plate. We get 2 of these little like sort of push buttons here. So what we need to do is, they're obviously, one's black and one's red, and they basically fit in this actual, it obviously comes together like that. What we need to do is to turn this so the clicker is facing that way. The great thing about these is that they literally just click in to place like so, which is great. So they just push in, and that is the way they need to be. So they need to be sort of facing opposite to each other, so they do that. Next, what we need to do is to grab our little sensor just here with the wire on, and now we need to obviously attach the wire, but obviously this goes into here. We'll grab one of these black screws. Just want to make sure I can get that in before I I just want to make sure that's incorrect at the moment. I need to bring my little box in. Have my screwdriver out, the normal size. And we need to just literally screw this down. Like so. So that is in place. Obviously that's underneath like so. Next, what we need to do is to grab these little sections just here, and yeah, so that one goes in that side. So let's just screw it down. Like so. Now, the way you know that they're going down, this little guide pin has to sit. And the good thing is it's going to cover up those wires slightly, which is great, which is exactly what we want. I'm just trying to see the best way. Now these wires have got to come up this way, so I know in the book, in the magazine, it shows you differently. There we go. There we go. And that section is done. So at the end of this little section, this is what we should have, like this. So okay, so the next wheel is to the next issue or section of this is to grab the trolley wheel. Okay, so for the trolley wheel, as you can see, my camera's wobbling a bit mad. That is it. It is literally just a shopping trolley wheel. That's the best way of describing it, or one you would get on a furniture, or maybe the end of a bed. Yeah, so it's rubber. So let's just go ahead and fit it. So this just sits in here, like so. I'm going to hold it while I do this bit. So what we need is a washer, a spring washer, and now what we need to do is tighten this with our new thingy, just it, and we need to literally tighten this as much as we can, like so. So there you go. I'll show you the lift once it's all been put together. I will show you. I mean, you can tell how much lift it's going to cause. Like so, that's about as straight as you can gonna get. Okay, so on to the next section. Now, so the next section is bringing in the sections that we already had in issues 89 and 90, and we're going to bring it all together now. So first things first is we're going to grab the wires. Now in here it shows you putting them through this section first, so that's what we're going to do. It's just about just pulling these through now, one by one, like so, and actually just pulling on them. Okay, next is to grab this section, and the wires need to come through just like so. Now what we need to do is, now these are pretty loose, so that's quite good. What we need to do is put two black screws in the top here. So one just here. Now all the screws for this issue we will get in this issue. Oops. So there's no need to root around in your box trying to find screws, because we've got them all in this issue. So there we go. Next section is we've already stuck them in. I stuck them in the previous issue. So the next one is to actually get the bumper bar. Obviously I kept it in my little section just here, so we'll just grab these bits and chuck them away. So we need to push this through, just so, like so. And then what we need to do is slide this just in there, like so. Now what we need to do is just go ahead and cover this now. There we go. So as you can see, it's there and it bumps along. So once again, the black screws, and we are going to be putting them all into these holes here. So I've got ahead and done that, and now what we need to do is just put these two halves together. We'll just put in the wires slightly, And now what we need to do, and that works really well. Now what we need to do is 4 black screws in there, which is what I'm going to do right now. So that is our leg, or our front central foot, nearly done. But there's one last thing, that is to cover these holes up. So that is what I'm going to do now. Right, so you do get a short flat one. Now this short flat one goes into this hole here. So I just push it in with this. That's it. And then we get this one which has a slightly flatter end. This obviously goes up here. If you can get it in just right. There we go. Though it looks a bit, I don't think it's going to be too noticeable. Then the other ones, they just slot in here like so. Fairly easy to do, as you can see. And that is our centre foot done. So what we need to do next is we need to grab both of our legs and our centre frame, and we're going to stick them together. So let's do that next. Now, just before we do the legs, I'm going to build this. So this is the little tiny tool that you get to actually build. So it comes in 2 parts, like so. You can see it here. We're going to fit it together with a black screw, and this basically takes the centre section of our leg, so we can access the screws. Now one of our legs has already got one on, and the other one is supplied here, and this is just easy enough to grab it. So what I'm going to actually do is build this first before we start the legs. So just a black screw in the top here. And there we go. And also, just before we start, I'm going to go ahead and, now we get 2 of these. We've had these before. They hold the wires in. We had it with the head. These are going to be going on the left and the right side of our R2. So they're like this. I'm going to go ahead and install these now, and when we come back, we'll install the legs to the chassis. Okay, so I have gone ahead and done this, as you can see. It just takes a bit of time to wrap it round, but it does work. Now what we need to do is we need to feed all of our wires into there. Make sure that we get the right side as well. So we just need to pass them through this hole just here. That's it. All go through there nicely. Okay. I can see what's happening. Okay, I'm just going to bring the camera up slightly. There we go. So my wire is actually getting caught. So I'm just going to rectify that now. See if I can get any clearer on this. Okay, so I've managed to do that. I've just pushed the wire down a little bit more. So basically what we need are these long silver screws with a washer on each of them. We just need to screw it in to the base, like so. It goes in really nice and easily. So I'm going to carry on doing the rest, and I'm going to do the opposite side as well. Right, so I've gone ahead and done that. I'm just going to straighten the camera a little and bring it out slightly. Now we've got to put the caps on with our new tool. So just go on and then turn on, and that's it. Now at this stage, it's really heavy, but it's not there's no real standing on its own. I'm just going to double check all these screws are screwed in. Yeah, nice and tight. Okay, so once again, I'm going to put this in. Oh, I got that stuck. No, there it goes. It's in. Oh. There we go. So I'm just going to lift it up. Bring the camera back a slight bit here. There we go. So it doesn't get it all in shot, but I think you kind of get the gist of it. Now the right way around for the legs is obviously to have nothing there, and our two position things facing the back. So that's the back, and that's obviously the front of R2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to install his bottom bit, his base, just here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so the base is done. Now what we've got to do is feed our middle foot. So what we need to do is put these wires through here, like so. That sits on so, like so. So that just sits on like that. Then what we need to do is flip it up, and we'll be putting 4 of these screws that have the, hang on, let's just, I have like a tiny little lip on them. Let's see if I can get a better shot. Ah, there we go. So you need 4 of them to screw this into the frame. So I'm going to attempt to try and show you where I... Now, I wonder if I can get this in to actually have a look. So basically into, there we go, so into these holes just here. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. Okay, so I've had to take it off the stand, my camera, just to show you how big this is. So we've gone ahead and we've secured this base in with the screws just there, as you can see. I mean, if we just pan away, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stand my Picard figure next to it. So Captain Picard here is 1/6 scale. He's a little bit dusty, he's been sitting on my desk for a while. So if I just back up a little bit, so you can sort of see how tall he is. He's just a little bit taller than Picard's head at the moment, so that's quite big. Obviously Picard's 1/6 or 12-inch scale. But as you can see, it's it looks really nice, really good. I'm so glad. The actual build itself, or this issue, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Once I got into a bit of a stride, it was easy to do. I've had issues with other ones. This was fairly straightforward. The longest part actually was just winding this plastic around the wires. That was one of the problems. And obviously another problem was the black sensor screw that sensors these kept getting in the way of the screws, and I'm having to push it down and stuff just to get it out of the way so I could screw it in. But I am really happy with it. Yep, so should we have a look, see what's coming in the next issue? Okay, so issue 92 is our next issue, which has a LED display, mounting plates and wiring. So this is the battery pack for our R2, and hopefully we'll know exactly how to obtain the batteries and get all that sorted. But that is obviously in our next issue. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click to subscribe, keep it the Geek Den, and we'll see you in the next video.